Welcome to the DEOS podcast, where we discuss important topics that matter. Our aim is to educate, enlighten, and broaden your understanding of the realities around us. Today, we will be discussing on marriage conflict resolutions and communication. We have our amazing guests here, Emmanuel Oricha
Thank you.
and Gloria Oricha.
Thanks for having us here.
You're welcome. They are relationship coaches, a host of a radio program called School of Marriage, and also the founder of a non-governmental organization known as First Initiative. They are all ministers of the gospel. So good to have you here, sir.
It's a pleasure being here.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
And I am your host, Oyiza Daniel. So let's dive into the business of today. With the present realities of many broken homes and marriages, what qualities do you think people should essentially look out for before getting married?
The scripture says that love is the greatest, and the greatest commandment is love for God and love for humanity, love for people. So you need to really check if this person loves God, and God is love. So it takes the love of God in this person to really love you. So the major quality you should check is love. And First Corinthians chapter 13 gives us more characteristics of love. Love is patient, love is kind, love does not seek evil, it's not boastful, it's not proud, it's not arrogant. So you look at those qualities of love in First Corinthians chapter 13 and check this person. Does this person fit these qualities, or are these qualities in this person's life? And you also look at the fruit of the Spirit. Once again, the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, self-control. Is this person having these qualities of the fruit of the Spirit? And you also check about the person's commitment. For me, I also see love as commitment. Is this person a committed person? Not just committed to you as a person, but how committed is this person to his faith, to God, to his work, his business? Today it's difficult getting people who are committed because marriage needs commitment. You need to check this in the life of the person you're in love with. My lovely wife, you want to add something?
Yeah, I would like to add that it's also important for you to take note of the person's level of responsibility. Is the person a responsible person? Because these days a lot of people try to run away from responsibility. That's why you have marriages where people just stand up and leave, as in it's becoming a pandemic in our society today. So you need to check, is this person a responsible person? And also you also have to look at the person. Is the person a humble person? Those are some of the characteristics you need to look out for. Are they kind? Do they just show you the good part of them? Or when they go out, meet other people, how do they behave? Are they nice people generally? As in, are they people who are loving, truly, genuinely loving? Are they people who love God? Because people who love God are people who can truly love people. So if the person loves God, just be rest assured that they can love you, because one who loves God is able to take anything, is able to understand, is able to do things because of God, not because of the person. So that's one thing you want to look out for. And then, is the person a contented person? In this day and age, we have so many young people trying to get things that things that people work for years to get. Young people want to get them like today. They are not patient for processes. And then you have to look for that in the person. Is the person someone who is contented? Are they okay with what they have? That does not mean you should not strive to get better. But then there is this excessive quest for fund, for resources, for trying to want to be like someone else? Are they competitive? Are they these little things you need to look out for? Are they controlling? Are they people who are not okay with themselves? Are they struggling with self-esteem? Because if they are before marriage, it will even be worse when they get married. So some of these little things you want to check out before you go ahead with the relationship.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much, sir. That was an amazing one. So with some points, you said commitment, or she said commitment, and also he or she must be a lover of God. So for you to be able to love somebody, you must be a lover of God. So that was a good one. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
So let's move to the next question. How long do you think people should date before getting married?
All right, I thank you for the question, and the question actually is talking about dating, and we want to clarify even before we answer the question that there is a difference between dating and being in a serious committed relationship. So there's a difference between dating and courtship. Yes, so that you're dating does not mean that the person is committed to getting married to you. A date is just a casual time out with a person or a group of persons. It doesn't necessarily mean that that person is in a committed romantic relationship with you. And I think we need to get this clear, because many people make mistakes by giving so much to a date.
That's true.
So much than is deserved. So you need to understand that. And when it comes to courtship, the time, it's not more about the quantity, but the quality. The quality. What are you able to do with the time you have before you say I do finally? Are you able to get more information about this person? Are you able to see this person in different environments, different situations, and see how this person behaves, how this person reacts, how this person treats other people? How does this person expresses his or her love for God and his or her love for humanity, for other human beings? What's this person's social network like? How does this person relate with older men, older women, people of the same age group, people who are younger, people who are high up there in the society, or people who are lower than him or her, in terms of social class? How is this person behaving with other people? Because do not excuse his or her behavior just because he or she is treating you right. You need to see him or her in other environments and how he treats other people. That's the original person. So once you are able to observe this person, study this person, and you feel you're comfortable to spend the rest of your life with him or her, then you're good to go. You get the blessings of your parents and other needed process, even the church.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's true. Just wanted to add to the fact that you said it's the quality of time, not quantity. So there is need for you to spend quality time and understand yourself, know yourself, know each other better, because that's what that process is all about. So if you feel because the truth is that you can't get to know any human being like 100%, totally 100%. So it's just get
to the level you can make a decision, an informed decision.
Yes, an informed decision. Wow. So getting to that level, once you've gotten to that level, there is no need waiting so long. You don't want to be addressed as the Lord of the Ring. So you can make up your mind, so you can't really say categorically that this is the length of time. So it actually depends on the individual and then the relationship, the dynamics involved in the relationship.
Like a distant relationship.
A distant relationship.
You may not know as much like someone who is staying in the same city.
Who they are always seeing themselves.
Always seeing each other.
So the quality of time that
you spend together,
that are close by, spent together, you can't compare it with those that are not close to each other. So
okay, sorry. Do you know that we still have people that are in a distance relationship that still get married?
Of
Yeah,
course.
we're not
Of
saying that it's
course.
not right to get married if you're in a distant relationship.
Mhm.
It's just that you have more work to
To
do
do
since you are not in close
close
proximity
proximity,
with
yeah.
this person. So you have more work to do to help you make the
Informed
informed decision.
Wow.
Because it's not when you now get into the marriage you are now like, oh, I didn't know this about
Yeah.
you. Hello, you had all the time to
Okay.
know,
To ask
Okay.
to
questions, to
ask
discuss
questions,
topical
intelligent
issues.
questions
Wow.
that would affect your future as a couple. So those
Okay.
are the period
Okay.
those are the things you should use that period for.
Okay. Wow, this is really interesting. So, for you to, there's a difference between dating and courtship.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, for you to know this person you want to spend the rest of your life with, you should make proper research, spend time together, and also know what the both of you are getting yourself into. It should be defined. Let me just say it should be
Define
defined.
your relationship.
Exactly, you define your relationship. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, ma. That was a good one. And then let's move to the next question. Certainly, communication is key in marriage. What do you think is the right and proper way to communicate in marriage?
Well, communication is very, very key in any relationship. And for you to have a successful relationship, there has to be an effective communication. And that's one thing with communication. You don't just communicate and feel you've communicated. It has to be an effective one, getting feedback. And communication simply means exchange of ideas,
of words,
information,
of emotions.
yeah. And so in
etc.
relationship, in marital
Yeah.
relationship, communication is very essential. You can't do without it. It's the life wire of any successful relationship, because that's how you
Right.
get to know your spouse. You get to communicate things to your spouse. There are things that you want to say. If you don't say it well, if you don't know how to say it, or if you don't even say it, there is no way the other person is going to know what's in your mind. So there is need to communicate and communicate properly. There are different levels of communication. When it comes to marriage, there is the surface, there is the more intimate relationship. And for marital couples, it is important for them to know that there has to be intimate relationship, very intimate relationship. You can get to a point in marriage where you don't even necessarily have to speak. Your spouse will know what you're talking about. And for us, we've done that. We communicate.
Yeah, because you have the verbal and non-verbal
Verbal,
communication.
yeah. We communicate in that and through that a lot. And that's why a couple needs to keep practicing, learning, and improving every day in their communication. And so you need to get to a point in your communication where you can be so vulnerable. You're not afraid to tell your spouse anything, and they are not afraid to tell you anything. For me, when you get to that point of communication, that's the peak of communication for me, where you get to a point where you are not scared of telling each other anything.
Free to be vulnerable.
Yeah, free to be vulnerable.
Yeah, and then communication is unique, as we're all unique, we're different. The way to effectively communicate with one person may be different from the way to effectively communicate with another person. So you need to ask yourself, who are you communicating with? What do you want to communicate? Why do you want to communicate? And how do you want to communicate? Because the how is very important. It's not just about what is being said, but how it is being said, can bring a whole lot of new meaning. I used to tell people when I take a class on communication that I can say, see your head, and we all start laughing. And I can still say, see your head, and the person is looking for a bottle to break. So it depends on how you say it. The tone you use matter a lot. The timing also matter a lot. The context matter a lot. And you need to watch the mood of your spouse, before saying certain things, to also guide you in how to present certain things. There are times that you may have to wait a bit before presenting an issue. So it's very important that you understand who your spouse is, and it will help you in communicating. We talk about the love languages too. To make your spouse feel loved, you need to also speak your spouse's love language. I want to quote Gary Chapman, Dr. Gary Chapman. He has a book or books, not just a book on love language. And basically, there are 5 love languages. We have the language of words of affirmation. There are some people that once you speak words of affirmation to them, they feel loved, and they're able to open up to you. The communication can flow freely. Some other people, gifts means a lot to them. You are communicating to them that you love them when you present gifts to them. Others feel the quality time. If you love me, spend some quality time with me. No matter what you say, I can't hear you, except you can create time
to
spend with me. Others look at acts of service, acts of love. You are able to do something for me. You are able to go to the market to get something for me. You are able to do the dishes for me. That shows you love me. You are able to help us pick the children from school. That shows you love me. And then finally, physical touch. For some people, they like being touched. Like when you're talking to them, they will feel love when you touch them. You hold their hands and say, honey, I understand what you're going through. I'm with you,
Wow.
So it's a whole lot.
And also, sorry, just to add that when communicating generally, let's just have in our mind that it's important to be gracious, to be kind, to be soft, to be mindful of how the other person will receive the communication.
That's good. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much,
It's a
man. Quite
pleasure.
amazing, beautiful. So I believe with these key points, it should be able to help us in communicating with our spouse. We should understand how to talk to them, when to talk to them, and also they made mention of some qualities or characteristics which involved gifting, physical touch, caring, knowing your spouse's love language. So I think it's a beautiful one. Let's move to the next question.
All right.
Thank you. How can couples handle resolve conflict and disagreements in marriage? How?
Okay, that's a very interesting and important question. Sometimes when we handle counseling sessions, I ask intended couple a question and they are shocked. I ask them, have you quarreled before? And they're like, because it's one thing, you need to learn how to resolve conflict. The marriage institution is one institution where you face conflicts from time to time. And conflict is not something that is totally bad. In fact, it can result into a new form of relationship. It can transform your relationship to be better. It only means that there are differences in position, in opinions, in interests, that needs to be communicated effectively. So if these differences can be resolved, your relationship can be better. When you are analyzing conflict or you want to resolve conflict, you need to understand the different positions.
Exactly.
Maybe the man takes a certain position, the woman takes a certain position, and most time it's the position that is being talked about. But if you just stop at that level, you won't be able to resolve the conflict effectively. You need to dig deep to look at the interests. What are the interests involved? Why is this person taking this position? Why is this person making this decision? And most times the interests are connected to needs, either perceived needs or felt needs, and it's those needs that need to be addressed. If people feel their needs are being threatened, they feel threatened, they may just hold to certain position without changing. But if you can dig deep, you can communicate effectively with your spouse to go deeper, deep collect onto deep, and get to that point where you understand the needs of your spouse. And you can make him or her feel secured and let them know, okay, why you are choosing this position. Or you can even change position and see the issue from the perspective of your spouse. You can now be empathetic and have a win-win. I always advocate for a win-win. Even if you are changing the position, it can be a win to you once your spouse is happy. For men, we always say a happy wife, a happy life. So
a happy man.
Always focus on the issue. Do not cast your stone on the person. Let's look at the issue so that we can effectively resolve the issue.
Conflict. Yeah. Focusing on the person, on the issue rather than the person. Don't always say, "Oh, you're always doing this." You always, because that's the mistake we make most of the time. Yeah, like trying to hit hard on the person and not on the issue. So just know that conflict is not a totally bad thing. It helps to even strengthen your relationship. And the truth is that conflict is part of humans, because we are different individuals who
Yeah.
always see things in a
Different
different light.
Yeah.
We are individuals who are different. So I might see something in this light and you see it in the other light. It doesn't make
Exactly.
you a bad person.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me a perfect person. Just like my husband said, there is need for you to try and view it from the other person's perspective sometimes, so you can understand why they are making their own
May I
decision.
also add that at some point it may be good to involve a neutral third party,
Yeah, when
even though
it's really
it's not always advocated. But if it's not being resolved among the two of you or between the two of you, you may need to get a third party, an experienced and trusted third party involved. And if it is getting violent, we
Oh, no.
pray. I don't advocate for or the hiding of violence in marriage. In case you notice violence, please seek help. Because the marriage should be an institution where you feel safe and secured. Conflict shouldn't get to the point where it's becoming violent. But in case you notice any form of violence, please seek help. Timely help. But if it's just about issues or seeing issues differently, you can communicate and resolve the conflict.
Thank you so much. Wow, that was a great one. So, in order to resolve conflicts in marriage, number one, you should see it in the other person's perspective. You shouldn't just behave or act based on your own or how you feel, based on your feeling. You should be able to see it from this person's point of view, and then you resolve it together. Thank you so much. So let's move to the next question. And it is, what leadership style do you think can guarantee effective communication, leading to mutual respect, equality, and submission in marriage?
Ladies first.
Okay.
I will just say that like my husband used to say, it's a servant leadership style. For a relationship to work well, you have to know that you're there to serve each other. That's the truth. You're there to serve. Don't go into a relationship, a marital relationship, going with the attitude of I'm going to be served. And so and when the other person is not serving the way they ought to, you'll begin to have issues. Just go there. I want to just serve. I want to just help this person. I want to just love on this person. So there's the need for that ideology to go into. However, there is also need for us to understand that God created the man to be the leader of the home.
Exactly.
And no matter what we are saying today, I know there's so many talks about gender and all those drama. The truth is that it's given to them by God. A man is the leader of the home, and the man is supposed to follow the leadership of Christ, who is the head of the church. So if you as a man, you're able to follow Christ, you're able to follow Christ well, I'm sure you'll be able to lead a very great home. So it's important for the man to know that he is the head of the home. He has people who are looking up to him, and he has to give good examples. So the man leads with God leading, with the help of God, and then the woman follows, and then the children follow.
That was quite interesting. So viewers, we've come to the end of today's episode on marital conflict resolutions and communication. See you next time on DEOS podcast. And don't forget to follow us on our social media handle. I remain your host, Oyiza Daniel. Bye for now.